Visit Amazon.com to learn about my book Astrology Realized in English and Spanish, and shop my website NadiyaShah.com for exclusive The Universe is Wise and Loving merchandise and my signature jewelry line, Astro Fabulous Jewelry. Enjoy. Hello, fabulous friends and fans. Welcome to your horoscope for the week of February 7th, 2016. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. This week, in many ways, it is so much about Mars. So Mars right now is moving through the sign of Scorpio, will not be done with the sign of Scorpio for a really long time to come. And ultimately what this is saying is passions are very much on the surface, even if it is only for ourselves. And what we are passionate about is going to depend a lot on your sign, okay? But also where this is speaking in your chart, and also what's going on in your life. So for some people, this passion is going to come out in the obvious ways, right? Romance, of course. That is going to be something that motivates a whole lot of people now. We have the sun speaking with Mars, a new moon speaking with Mars. We also have Venus and Jupiter speaking with Mars as well, while Venus is speaking in supreme harmony with Jupiter. So essentially setting up a configuration that I like to call a triangle of potential. Well, that is what it's called. And it's not really a major configuration, but important nonetheless. And this particular new moon also setting up a triangle of potential with Saturn and Uranus. So a whole lot going on this week. And a lot of it in some ways is going to be very embodied, very visceral, very romantic, very inspired. And then we have energy that is positively cerebral. And just as we think that we're ready to move forward and march forward, we are going to be asked to reflect again, go within again, get clear on what motivates us and why. So let me take it one moment at a time. As I said, Mars is the big player, is the most active player in the sky now. So as the sun and new moon are speaking with Mars, this is going to get us to admit to ourselves what it is that we are not only passionate about, but what is it that we feel determined to see through? What is it that motivates us? What is it that really sort of wakes us up and asks us to take ownership? Take ownership for the energy that we desire to experience, and take ownership for the life that we desire to experience as well. And what are you going to do? How are you going to move yourself towards that? So on the one hand, right, this energy can feel very much on the surface, as I said, but here's the thing. We've got that balance of some really harmonious energy as well. As I said, Venus, Jupiter, and Mars involved in this conversation, supremely harmonious between Venus and Jupiter. This tells me that there is a certain level here of acceptance, of faith, of inspiration, and also of ambition and an appreciation of the big picture. So some people are going to experience this in a very romantic way, obviously. Other people out there are going to experience this more with things like creativity and art, and yet other people will experience this energy having to do with money and ambition. And it actually might be, for some of you out there, a little bit of all of that. Remember, Mars is not only what motivates us, what drives us, what makes us feel determined, if you will, or what symbolizes determination, but it speaks to essentially a very deep part of us. It has to do with our very early childhood, like before we could speak, that age, very early childhood, and it is a lot of programming that happens at that time. So when you find yourself reacting or behaving in ways and you go, why am I doing this? Like, what's going on with me? Why am I attracted to that person when I really am not, in my normal senses, attracted to that type of person? Well, Mars. It's probably Mars sort of kicking up in your chart, whether it's in your chart or whether it is by transit collectively. We're all having Mars kicked up in one way or another. You can say, okay, Mars is being kicked up. Now, there's a lesson there also that says, Mars is learning. Mars is change. Mars is empowerment. But that doesn't mean necessarily that you have to do something about it. This is a lesson I learned way back in the day, and it was a revelation to me when it came. But I remember, someone saying to me, hey, okay, you meet somebody and you just have this feeling and you feel very drawn to them. That doesn't mean you actually have to do anything about it. It just says, okay, there's a lesson here. Now, where are you going to take it? Where is it and how far is it that you want to take it is always in your hands. It's always in your power, and it is always your choice. And I think that we're going to be appreciating that as well. And that's thanks to this new moon. And as I said, cerebral energy. And that is this new moon in Aquarius. Now that new moon is going to help us to have that sense of detachment where otherwise it wouldn't be. With all that water energy, this Mars in Scorpio, we could easily be carried away, but we've got that nice balance of earth. And then we also have this new moon in Aquarius, as I said, speaking in harmony with Uranus and Saturn. I spoke about this for just about every sign out there in the monthly horoscope, so you may want to watch that again. But this is going to allow us that sense of detachment, that sense to say, okay, how do I feel about this? Am I okay with this? I'm about to do something. Am I okay with that? Right? Is it all right? How am I going to feel tomorrow? How am I going to feel in a month or a year? That's what Aquarius energy allows us to do. It allows us to have that moment, have that pause, be able to say, okay, instead of just, inspiration, action, or not even realizing it, action, we're able to detach just enough to make a more conscious choice, or at least think our choices through. Scorpio is a very controlled energy, so don't get me wrong. Scorpio energy is very controlled, very strategic. And Mars being in this part of the sky is a very powerful place. It's in its home sign, its ancient sign. Mars is the ancient ruler of Scorpio. So it's sort of at home here, if you will, able to bring forward its best qualities, especially those qualities we don't always acknowledge, like the more strategic side, like the more reflective side, like the side that understands that if we want change in our life, it's gotta be from within. We've gotta start from within and be smart about it. Be smart about how it is that you're moving forward. So this can benefit a whole lot of people out there, and I think all of us are certainly going to find benefit with this energy, all this Mars energy on offer. Do keep a lookout this week, because I am going to post what a lot of people have been asking for, which is a Mars retrograde special horoscope video for all signs. I really hope that you love it, and so I am going to be talking about that in that special video. But let me give you a little bit of a heads up. Now, normally I don't go ahead like this, but let me give you a little bit of a heads up. What is happening by the time we get to the end of the week, Mercury will also move into Aquarius. And as the weekend rolls around, we'll leave shadow, okay? Very exciting. We'll leave shadow Valentine's Day. Very exciting. And just 3 days later, Mars enters shadow, okay? So we are really on the verge of switching energies and switching an understanding of where it is that we need to reflect, how it is that that reflection is going to take place. So we've just gone through this experience of having Mercury moving through, retrograding through the sign of Capricorn for an extended period of time. This has been asking us to get clear on what is success, what is ambition, what do we really want, what's really worth working for, but also to see where it is, I do think with Mercury, where it is that we might get in our own way towards what it is ultimately that we really want. But now here comes the Aquarian energy, and the Aquarian energy is all about the inspiration and the future and feeling inspired, like positively inspired and even wired. So that is going to be some of the blessing. And so just as we start feeling this, another part of us asks us to, okay, pay attention now, because you're going to have to come back to some of the things that come up. But it's going to say, pay attention now to your energy. How is it, not just how is it that you're thinking, what are you talking about, but also how is it that you are feeling? What is it genuinely that motivates you? What is it genuinely that drives you forward? And for some people, I think they're going to find some very surprising answers at that. But more than that, I think that Mars is going to ask us to be smart about it. That's what Mars in Scorpio says. Now, Mars will also, while in shadow, enter Sag. Of course, I'll talk about all this in the special, the special horoscope, but I will say that it'll be very interesting to watch us deal with these energies. But this is going to be a little bit of a precursor this week, and we're literally just going to get that bit of a breather before our focus starts to change and we start to understand that themes are coming up that we have to come back to a little bit further down the road. Also, again, to give you a little bit of a heads up, I always try to post this video Saturday at some point. Sometimes it's not always possible, and I appreciate your patience so much. I love you guys. You've been so amazing with me, especially during this past Mercury retrograde. But having said that, I do want to give you a heads up again on Valentine's Day. For much of the world, Valentine's Day is going to fall with a moon in Taurus, and this moon will be speaking with Venus and Jupiter in supreme harmony. So this conversation I spoke of between Venus and Jupiter, well, it is going to be the moon that highlights this conversation. So super romantic, super embodied, okay, however you want to use that energy. And it's just a very wonderful, sensual energy. It's really good for having, whatever it is that you are a connoisseur of, whatever it is that you really enjoy. This is going to be the time to enjoy it, to enjoy being a human being and all that comes with, to truly enjoy the earthly experience, to enjoy this incarnation. That's what I think is going to be a big focus with this particular energy. We're not likely to do anything that, we think, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. I don't think that's likely because this is earth energy after all. But look, like to have the moon in Taurus and Venus and Jupiter, there is that, being merry part of this that can go overboard if you let it. So just to give you a heads up, Valentine's Day, very romantic. If you don't know what to get for that person, make sure that you get the best, regardless of what it is. So instead of buying like a big box of chocolates, buy like a small box of the best chocolates, or whatever it is that jewelry, wine, all of these things, clothing, all of these things are very much under the purveyance, if you will, of Taurus. So all of these types of gifts should go off very well. So even if you have to go smaller, but better quality, that is going to be the way to go where it comes to Valentine's Day gifts. But overall, enjoy yourself, feel the love, because there will be a lot of love on offer, regardless of your romantic station, if you will. Regardless of where you are romantically, there'll be a lot of love to go around. Well, thank you so much for watching the introduction. I'm truly so grateful for it. So you may notice a few things are a little different just this week. So what's happened is my AC isn't working. So it's a nice cool night with some strong winds here in Cancun. So I have my window open so that can help balance the energy. And because of the strong winds, sometimes my hair might, go in some interesting directions. And I just said to myself, and also because there's a party going on outside, it's Cancun, it's the evening, there's usually a party going on. And so I thought, okay, use my handheld mic to reduce any kind of interference from other energies, other sound energies, that is. But having said that, I thought to myself, okay, if I am going to have wind blowing in my hair and all this music and holding a mic, it's kind of like being in a Mariah Carey video. So I thought, okay, if I'm going to look like I'm in a Mariah Carey video, I am going to go all the way and dress like it as well. So that was part of my inspiration, but also I thought this outfit was very new moon in Aquarius. And I don't know, I've just been really thinking a lot about, and I think this is part of the energies that have been happening, about just relaxing, just being myself a little bit more, enjoying life a little bit more. I think that this is part of a lesson for a lot of us. We either want to go one way or the other. And I do think that this is very Mars in Scorpio as well. How are we going to maintain balance? Because Scorpio energy is very all or nothing. And so I am here. You're watching my journey. You have been, some of you, for many years now, watching my journey as I'm learning these sacred lessons right along with you. So thank you so much for watching the introduction. I'm truly so grateful for it. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, thumbs up. All of it really helps so much, means so much to me. I love our interactions. Please do keep them coming. Facebook, Twitter, Google+, my website, NadiyaShah.com, and the YouTube comments as well. Sometimes I'm asked questions that are a little bit more personal, that have to do with your unique situation. If that's the case, please consider a personalized horoscope where I can do just that, look at your unique situation and answer your particular questions having to do with your unique birth chart. So there should be a link if you are watching this on the website of YouTube. It doesn't tend to show up if you are watching in the app. And so in the description, or just head over to my website, NadiyaShah.com, for more information about that. A while back, I sent a call out for artists. I asked if you're an artist and you'd like to have your work showcased on the weekly horoscopes as part of the background, please do reach out to me. I would love to feature the work of artists as part of giving back. That's part of my goal. Part of the goal for this year, for 2016, has to do with giving back and has to do with a whole lot of things. You know, as we go along, we'll keep talking about it. So there's been a tremendous response to that. I'm so very grateful for it. So a whole lot of artists have reached out. And so I have a list, okay? And I will be going through them at each horoscope, weekly horoscope that falls on a new moon. I'll feature a different artist, and hopefully we'll be able to go through the list, because art is something that is so personal. I mean, how can you really say, like, I think anyways, it's like, ultimately what resonates with you is because of who you are, what perspective you're coming from, not necessarily of the art itself. So at the end of the day, I think about, okay, what do I feel when I look at this art? So many people have reached out, so I've got that whole list there, contacting like a group at a time, okay? So the next group of artists might not hear anything for a few months, so please be patient with us, but that is my goal, to give back to those artists who did submit, to contact you guys as we move forward. But at this point, it looks like for the next 2 years, I could feature a different artist, and then some. So thank you so much. I love looking at your art. And so the artist that I have chosen for this first month of featuring art, and I wanted to choose for this month in particular because it is also Chinese New Year. So happy Chinese New Year out there to everybody. And so it is when the new moon is in Aquarius, that is the Chinese New Year. And this is a time when it is believed in that part of the world that life begins to grow. And I thought that having the new moon in Aquarius, and Aquarius being such a visionary kind of energy, and then you add to it starting this while Uranus and Saturn is involved. So hopefully this is something that lasts a long time to come and creates a lot of stable and greater success and greater opportunity for every artist out there. So this first one is DeAriesha. So I hope I'm saying that right, but her name is DeAriesha Shah. I love it, okay? Love the name. But really, when I went on her website, I took my breath away. It was so beautiful. The images were incredible. I absolutely loved them. And to me, it was kind of like a no-brainer. Like, yes, this is the kind of energy that I want to bring. So again, we've seen all kinds of really different types of art, and I'm looking forward to showcasing them all. But she is the first to be showcased, and I hope that you absolutely love her work. She has a portrait of Maya Angelou that actually like got me a little choked up, because I looked at this image, it had such an energy of love in it, and I remembered as a young teen reading Maya Angelou and how much it gave me comfort, inspiration, and hope. And I think that comes across in her art. So I do hope you enjoy that. You should be able to see a link in the description to her website, and also if you are on my website, you should see a graphic that links you there for this coming lunar month. So right until the next new moon, her graphic should be there that allows you to connect with her website, and she's got all kinds of prints and things and just beautiful, beautiful pieces to showcase. So I'm so grateful for that again. Thank you so much for the amazing artists out there. It has meant so much to me. And again, looking forward to giving back in lots of different ways, and looking forward to showcasing amazing artists for months and months to come. So how all this wonderful stuff taking place this week, very active sky, new moon, how all of this speaks to you in your sign is coming up right now. Hello, fabulous Aries. This week, we have got this new moon happening in a very friendly part of the sky. In fact, it has to do with friends themselves. And then we've also got this very supportive energy that has to do with the work that you're doing and the success that you are garnering. So we've got these really wonderful blessings and this boost happening to your ruling planet thanks to your work, thanks to your success. So this should be a really nice time when you feel supported by, if you have bosses, feeling a support by bosses. This also should be a really supportive time where it comes to having a deeper understanding into what you're good at and why it is worth doing. Why it is not only that you enjoy it, but why it is that it matters to you. And that's one of the surest ways, as you may know, you put love in something, and I think this is going to be a part of the learning for a lot of us out there. If you put love there, you will find success. And that is one of the sacred lessons for you playing out this week. But of course, that new moon is happening in a friendship part of the sky. This to me is a really interesting moon, because this says to me that you are wanting to build and move towards greater stability, make positive changes all around, and feel more stable and secure in your life, which are great aims to go for. And at the same time, you may be seeing how some of that is going to cost you money. You may be seeing how you may have to work a little bit on your financial goals to get where it is that you desire to go. But ultimately, this is an awareness that needs to happen so that you can actually get to those bigger goals that you have for your life. Those of you who are in an established bond, this can be a very powerful time where you are being very honest with your partner and considering how it is that your spending habits meld or don't meld, if you will. So this has to do with looking at the balance of energy within a given connection that you have. Now, this is only for those of you who have a long-term partnership. So you're looking at the balance of energy and figuring out your way forward from there. Those of you who are open to meeting someone new, it really is when you're in that zone of feeling like you are doing something that matters to you, moving towards goals that matter to you, that make you happy, again, that you love. It is then that you will find yourself attracting and that much more able to attract the love that you want. Hello, fabulous Taurus. This week we have got your ruling planet Venus speaking with Mars, speaking with Jupiter. Lots of energy playing out that says that you are feeling good is really what this comes down to. This is a lot of earth energy, earth-based energy. And so all the earth signs out there should be feeling the love, should be feeling particularly romantic right about now. And of course, that includes you. In fact, I do think you're going to feel like your heart is growing, is expanding in the best possible sense. For some of you, this is going to play out where it comes to your kids. Okay, so you might get some really good news about your child if you have one. If you want to have a child, this also is lots of support, lots of good news, lots of ways forward to make that happen for yourself. Others of you are going to be feeling just very creative, so it's a great time to set aside some time to enjoy yourself in the act of creation. Valentine's Day, it is the moon in your sign, And that moon is going to be speaking with Jupiter and Venus, as I spoke of in the introduction. And that means you, in many ways, are right at the heart of the blessings that are about to manifest for you. So there's lots of opportunity there, not only to get your flirt on, definitely get your flirt on and just randomly make a connection that makes you go, oh, wow, okay, who's this? That really piques your interest. And if you are in an established bond, this is romantic all around. It's like, you know just what it is to give and you receive just what it is that you want. Hello, fabulous Gemini. This week, we've got an active sky. One thing I love for you is that Mercury is moving on. By the time we get to the very end of the week, Mercury will leave shadow, which suggests a major shift of energy for you. It's like all of a sudden the stuff that you had to deal with, you are done. You are ready to move forward onto matters that are a lot more visionary, a lot more future focused, and a lot more focused on ideas, which ultimately is where it is that you want to be and where it is that you are most comfortable. Not only that, there's a new moon playing out, so you should be feeling this energy even before we get to Mercury entering the sign of Aquarius, entering fellow air sign at that. So this is you moving forward. And this is you seeing how it is that you can make connections and you can make some slight choices, slight decisions that can make all the difference in terms of your deepening understanding as to where you are going and really affirming what it is that matters, but also who it is that matters as well. Now, there might be a very passionate moment that gets you to have to own this energy, but it seems that you're very much up for that task. Where it comes to love, we have Venus right now playing out in a part of the sky for you that is decidedly quiet, as well as Jupiter. So we've got this very supportive energy, but ultimately happening in very quiet parts of the sky, which says a couple of things. One is, this says wanting the real thing, right? It's not so much about getting out there and the demonstration of love, but more about what's happening on energetic levels, on inner levels, preparing for a deepening of love. But also, this speaks to wanting a love where you can feel at home with. Now, this might be, if you are open to meeting somebody new, might not necessarily be that familiar an emotion. However, this is something that is going to be with you now, and it's not a bad thing. Absolutely not. When you meet somebody, do they feel like home? That is going to be part of what you are thinking. With this particular energy, I actually think that it is going to be just a little bit further down the road. We are going to have this month Venus enter fellow air sign Aquarius. And that will be a big game changer. That'll make romance that much easier to flow for you. But if you're open to meeting someone new, it's like you're thinking on a lot of deeper layers now, instead of just relaxing into it and enjoying it. However, I will say this, especially if you're open to meeting somebody new, as we move towards the very end of the week, the best connections are the ones that you don't have to think about. If you are in an established bond, it is really that space, right? Where you trust this person, you know what to expect, that you will feel most comfortable in. And really, I do think it is going to be just spending time with this person, spending time at home, that is going to end up being the most meaningful to you. Hello, fabulous Cancer. This week, we have got an active sky. We've got a new moon happening in a part of the sky for you that has to do with finances. It has to do with understanding very deeply, right? Seeing a thing to its core, to its center. So you are making some changes, financial opportunities may be showing up. And some of these opportunities may very well be related to a creative endeavor. And it could also be a creative endeavor that lends itself to a connection that could really garner you a lot of money in the fullness of time. But it seems like there's a part of you that isn't very sure, that maybe doesn't trust it, that maybe is feeling a little bit suspicious. And if that's the case, of course, you know, I always say, first and foremost, you got to trust yourself. That's number one, first and foremost. And then after that, you listen to astrologers, you listen to other kind of experts. So first, it's you. What's happening with you on a heart level, on a soul level, is what matters most. So, of course, trust yourself. But there is the real opportunity now to make a distinction or to make a connection that has the potential to create great wealth for you now and for a long time to come. To create opportunity for you, to create work opportunities for you for a very long time to come. Stable opportunities at that. So at least be open, consider the possibility that this is not something necessarily that is too much of a fluke to be real. Of course, be willing to move forward cautiously, and yet at the same time, if it feels right, if you know that there's a part of you that's just skeptical because you're being skeptical rather than what is. And I'll also say this, there is very little, very, very little that you can't undo. I do believe that very much. There's very little that you can't undo. So as long as you know that, if it feels right, and if you're in that zone, you know what it is that you need to do in terms of creating greater prosperity for yourself. It might be trusting this other person and their vision and their insights, okay? It might be not doing that. But on a deep level, the best actions for you to take to create greater prosperity for yourself. But there's lots of blessings taking place there, largely thanks to this particular new moon. Where it comes to love, I do really like the fact that Venus is still moving through your opposite sign. This should be amazing for you. This should be an energy that allows you to just attract, if you're open to meeting someone new, attract people with real potential to last a long time. So like long-term potential types of people are going to be coming your way. And there's going to be a deepening of love, a deepening of heart even. And I think a lot of people are going to be feeling very optimistic in the realm of love, and you are no exception. But I do also think that talking is going to be a big part of how it is that you love. If you're open to meeting somebody new, an online connection, very possible now. If you are open to meeting somebody new or just getting to know someone, it is likely going to be in situations where you can just relax and share ideas, maybe even situations that have to do with taking a short class that can allow you to feel a really strong connection with another person. If you're in an established bond, you should be feeling the love, feeling understood, and there's nothing really that can make you feel and make all things well, like talking it out. You won't even need to have to hash things out too much, but just be willing to communicate just a little bit, and that will fortify your connection that much more. Hello, fabulous Leo. This week we have got an active sky, but really this week starts off with the sun speaking with Mars. So in some way you are becoming aware of what has got to change, what you want to change, whether it's in your love or in your romantic experience. In some people, this is going to be some very passionate energy. And depending on how you deal with passion is going to say a lot about how you deal with this energy. But I do think, and what I do really like about what's playing out, is that there's a focus on you believing in yourself, you believing that you can have prosperity, emotional prosperity, financial prosperity, spiritual prosperity, that your life can be abundant, and then being willing to recognize how that is playing out in different areas of life, work and matters of heart. So I do think that the early part of the week is more about you realizing where it is that you have power to change and where it is that you don't. And as they say, the courage to change the things I can and the wisdom to know the difference. So this ultimately comes down to the serenity prayer. So that's what's really going to help you. If you remember that, right? In the most non-denominational, whatever, however resonates well with you. If you remember that affirmation, then that can be the thing that helps you to understand what you're feeling. And a lot of times we really don't control nearly as much as we do think we do, actually, is my humble belief. Yes, you can make your life whatever you want. You can make it go wherever you want. I think that's amazing about being a human being. And yet some of the most powerful action we're ever going to take has to do with surrender. It is in the act of surrender that truly amazing things can come about for you and for just about everybody out there as well. What I also really like about what's playing out for you now is that there is this emphasis, there is this connection, there is this momentum taking place that is saying to you that you can have work where you feel the support, where you feel that it is connected to love and how that is affecting your prosperity. In fact, it very well may be love that affects your prosperity right about now. And love, other people, and partnerships very much in focus. We've got this new moon happening in your opposite sign. I spoke about this at length in the monthly horoscopes, particularly the love-focused horoscope. But this really is the time when it's fresh start energy. If you're open to meeting someone new, there will be someone there for you to understand lessons in love. And one of the lessons is going to be, what kind of person do you want to be with, really? If you are in an established bond, some really healthy choices are going to be made now as to how it is that you're going to create greater stability in this bond and what it is that needs to change. There's going to be a feeling that you can bring forward your best, more and more of your best, as you deepen that connection. So there is this sense of you becoming more you thanks to the love that you experience. Hello, fabulous Virgo. This week we have got a very active sky, and what I love is that you are at the center of it. All the earth signs are going to benefit most from the sky, but you really are at one of the top levels, and that's because of Jupiter. You've got Jupiter moving through your sign. Jupiter is speaking in supreme harmony with Venus. So it's almost like no matter what else is happening, you are feeling good. You are feeling open to having fun, open to love, open to joy, open to joyous moments, feeling more creative, feeling more alive, and feeling more energetic, really is what it comes down to as well. So we have got this very supportive connection of Mars to that Jupiter in your sign, to that Venus as well. So all of this says is that you are moving in a direction of understanding what you truly need to be happy, and you're willing to own that. You're willing to claim that. You're willing to say, you know what? Yes, this is what I need. And it's amazing how the universe then rushes to give exactly that to you. With this particular configuration, you should expect, if you have children, you should get some really good news around your child or your children overall. So news that delights you. This also is lucky. So whether it's a child that facilitates luck, yours or someone else's, or it's just luck in general, you know, you getting a chance to sit at a poker table, you could do exceptionally well right around now. So of course, trust your intuition. That's key in this and making the most of this energy. But you've got lots of support on your side. If not to actually win the lottery when you go to buy that ticket, but to make a connection with somebody while you're there that ends up being very meaningful to you, that tends to play out with this kind of vibe. And speaking of love, if you're open to meeting somebody new, go to the poker table, go to the lottery stand. These are going to be some place, I got to tell you, that could end up being very lucky for you. But really, wherever there's joy, wherever there's creativity, wherever there's art, there you will also find love. So those are the kind of spaces you want to be in. And if you are already in a connection, I mean, you should just be feeling a lot of love for this person, because it just looks like on a heart level, you are feeling very understood, and you are feeling this very strong sense of connection with the person that you are with. But it's the kind of connection that really helps you to realize that there is love at home, there is love with you, but then also that that love can actually help you to understand love in a more meta kind of way. That love that you have can actually help you to have more loving experiences as you go out into the world to enjoy yourself. Hello, fabulous Libra. This week, we have got a very active sky, a beautiful sky. Your ruling planet, Venus, is very active, harmoniously speaking with Jupiter, harmoniously speaking with Mars, being energized by that connection. This, to me, as I look at this, I think that home is going to be where the action is, where the romantic energy is going to play out. And so if you are in an established bond, this energy will be very helpful to you because there's a certain quietness playing out to this energy. And in fact, all the air signs out there are going to experience the romantic energy more quietly than other signs might. More privately is what I ultimately mean by that. So if you're in an established bond, it is going to be you wanting to spend time with that person at home and having that connection with them. I do also think, as I look at the sky, that a lot of things right now, like the talkative times, are going to come very soon. Okay, this particular new moon happening in fellow air sign is very good for romance and especially for meeting someone new. So if you are in an established bond, you're hanging out close to home and spending that quiet time with them, feeling the love. If you're open to meeting somebody new, you've got this new moon happening, and this is about flirting. This is about having fun. This is about getting out there. This is about those spontaneous moments that lead you to know and understand that it is and what kind of love it is that ultimately you want. But more than anything, this is about realizing that you have options. This part of the sky is about options. It's about abundance. So it's about realizing that. Go out, have fun, flirt. There'll be options, that's for sure. You decide where to go with them. But ultimately, all of that is helping you to decide what it is that is worth pursuing. That is going to be a part of this as well. And also thinking about some lessons. For a few of you out there, there might be some lessons of self-worth that need to be healed as part of fully owning your right to be open to love and to expect that people are engaging you on the same level. Hello, fabulous Scorpio. This week we have got an active sky, as I've been saying to all the signs. And you in particular, you have Mars in your sign. This makes you the most active of the active. It is going to be next week, as I mentioned in the introduction. Next week, Mars is going to go into shadow. So this makes this week an important time. It is this week where a lot of the energy is really moving forward. And next week, I'll be here to talk about it then. But you want to pay attention at that time to what is taking place, because you'll return to it. What happens now, maybe not so much. But what is really interesting and wonderful about what's playing out this week is you are gaining an understanding now. Gaining slowly but surely momentum, understanding how to express yourself, what you have to say, what you want to communicate. You've got that Mars in your sign giving you a lot of energy, helping you to bring forward your very best. This is going to continue to bless you for a while. It's going to define much of this year for you. And I think it is going to be this week, even though early in the week there might be a little bit of an irritation. And this very likely will be related to some matter of home. You will find the resolution very quickly, okay? So no worries there. Don't let yourself get caught up in an illusion of a problem that isn't really there. So be mindful of that. And if there's any like home-related issues that do pop up, very quickly you find the solution. You'll find that they're a lot simpler and that they resolve themselves rather quickly. You may have to consult with a specialist, right? If there's some home-related issue that shows up that has to actually do with the structure of the home itself, or it might just be the energy of the home that you're thinking about, how is it that you want to change it? You may have to consult an expert, or you may just have to be with yourself and consult your own, get your own advice on this. But you will, I mean, it's almost like quickly. You understand what needs to change, and it gets the energy flowing differently and much more positively forward for you. But really, it's you that is energized, and you whose intuition is only going to hit like these magnificent levels in the weeks and months to come. Those of you who are in an established bond, you'll be feeling the love, you'll be talking it out, lots of passionate energy, especially the later we move into the week. Those of you open to meeting someone new, lots of talking happening. Right? I think that the water signs really are going to be communicating a lot via messages and through words and making connections in that way. And so use this energy. Use this energy by getting out there and going to places where you know there's going to be conversations happening. That it's not so much about just, okay, who you end up dancing with in the dark, but more about what it is that you're saying and the exchange of ideas. Because for you, this particular week, ideas are very sexy. Hello, fabulous Sagittarius. This week, we have got your ruling planet Jupiter getting a supremely harmonious boost from Venus. I love this energy for you. It says that there's prosperity on offer. It says that you're moving forward in matters of ambition, in matters of career, and in matters of understanding that you deserve to experience greater and greater prosperity. So there's a real sense of growth on a practical level now, where it comes to your money and where it comes to your ultimate success. So if there ever was a week to aim high, this would be it. We also have taking place a new moon. Now this new moon is happening for you in a part of the sky that is very talkative. Okay, so there's lots of talkative energy with this particular new moon. What I do really like about this is that it looks like you're going to be really busy, especially middle of the week moving forward. You are getting very busy. Now, early in the week, it might seem like you have to get busy in ways that might feel a little bit tiring, but they needn't be. Okay, this is about learning to manage your energy in healthy ways. It's part of your sacred learning in the first half of this year, actually, and beyond that. Having said that, I do think that if you stay connected to your higher goals, your higher ambitions, the directions in which you're going, you will find yourself only making progress. You will find yourself only moving in directions that feel that much more empowering. And you know, they say that when you are in the goal or in the process on the road towards a goal that matters to you, a dream that matters to you, you become especially more beautiful. This is like a universal truth. And you are going to really understand this truth this week. If you're in an established bond, I got to say, do your own thing. Be open to doing your own thing, having your own aims, having your own ambitions, working on your own ideas. It will thrill you to do so, and it will be the thing that helps you to forge that much stronger a connection with the person that you love. If you are open to meeting someone new, then it is doing that that is going to allow you to open that door towards a genuine connection with someone new as well. Lots of fun energy, lots of love energy, lots of joy energy, maybe even a little bit of overdoing it energy playing out now. But it seems like you have the resources, you have the time, and you have the support to really enjoy on one hand, but also to dream big and know that as you make that happen, love can be part of that larger goal. And that is certainly something that is set, certainly something that is there for you to enjoy and for you to experience as well. Hello, fabulous Capricorn. This week, we have got all this wonderful, loving earth energy playing out. It is the earth signs that are going to benefit most from the romantic vibes and even the passionate vibes as that. And you are really going to be feeling at your most beautiful and gracious best. You have got Venus in your sign. Now, she's not going to be there forever. She's going to be there right now, but pretty soon as we move further into the month, we'll change signs. And when I look at how much support Venus is getting, particularly as we approach the later part of the week, and Venus is speaking in supreme harmony with Jupiter and speaking in harmony with Mars, this to me says that really there's not much that can go wrong for you in the context of heart. And even in the context of love and beauty and feeling fabulous, enjoying, yes, your life, but also knowing that you are worthy to receive. So that's when we take it to a more elevated kind of level, right? So if we want to look at the sky from a more spiritual perspective, that's ultimately what this learning comes down to, knowing that you are worthy to receive. If you approach life from that perspective, if you approach life from that understanding, and then the universe allows things to flow to you that much more easier. And whatever it is you need, whether it's you need more energy, Whether it is that you need, more surface stuff, mundane stuff, opportunity, prosperity. The universe can provide it to you that much more easier if you know that you deserve to receive it. And a lot of times, sometimes people can get in their own way. But I don't think that's the case for you now. And in fact, I do think that some amazing turnarounds are possible for you. Surprising turnarounds are possible for you. And there's a very strong possibility that where you thought you were down and out, now you get this boost to move forward. And things seem to be going very much your way, especially as we move towards the later part of the week. If you are in an established bond, you are just feeling beautiful and cared for and loved. If you're open to meeting someone new, you've got some of the best vibes to make that happen now. If you are someone who wants to get a tattoo or cosmetic surgery or just buy more makeup, this is a great time to do just that. So make sure as we approach the later part of the week that you are doing that. Like go shopping, do that makeover that you've been planning to. This is the week to do that. I think it was last week that I said don't do that. This week, do just that. It was either last week or the week before, last week. However, as we move into this week, the energy changes. It gets a lot more harmonious, a lot more positive, and this is where you really start to feel like you are coming into your best, most beautiful self. Hello, fabulous Aquarius. This week, we have got a new moon in your sign. You really are where the party is, and the party's just going to keep growing and growing from here. So we've got this new moon in your sign. Before the week is out, Mercury will enter your sign as well. And as we move just a little bit further into the month, Venus will move into your sign also. So this is really where the energy is building. This is really where the party is going to be happening. And the focus is on you, and it is about you. A part of you is really going to be feeling like all systems go forward. You'll be feeling a sense of renewed energy. And wherever it is that you desire to begin again, be mindful, okay? Because a few of you out there might really go all in, and you might way overdo it. And then the universe is going to say, okay, pull back a little bit, pace yourself a little bit. But it does look like opportunity meets preparation, and this particular new moon blesses you to start again, to begin again, and to start fresh wherever it is that you know that you need to do just that. Whether that's in your professional life, in terms of your goals, in terms of your self-understanding, in terms of your spiritual understanding as well. But the things that you put into place right around this new moon tend to stick. We've got Saturn involved. We've got Uranus involved. You've got the real potential now to make changes that will reap results quickly and reap results that you like. Remember, this new moon is speaking in harmony with your ancient and modern ruling planet. That makes this particular moon in Aquarius that much more amplified with Aquarian energy. So regardless of what kind of Aquarius you are, right? Because some Aquarians are more Saturnian, right? They're more like the responsible, steady types, the scientific types, the methodology kind of oriented types. And then there are those that are much more Uranian, that are a lot more about inspiration and sort of doing what comes when it comes and just going with the flow, even if that flow takes you in all kinds of different directions, but allowing yourself the space to do that. All of this is balanced really nicely with this particular new moon. So whatever it is, wherever you feel like you're stronger, you'll bring in elements of the other to balance this out very much to your advantage, regardless of what it is that you decide or desire to do. If you have an ambition, this is where the most important seeds are going to be put into place that will reap fruit, likely 6 months from now, and even in much longer term, in terms of the things that start now staying a part of your life for the next couple of years, at least as long as Saturn stays in the sign of Sagittarius. When it comes to matters of love, a lot of it really is about you, and I feel like in some ways you're preparing the ground. So it's about energetically understanding what's happening in your experience of love, and the quieter moments being the more meaningful moments. All the air signs are feeling love and experiencing love sort of in a low-key kind of way. but that actually makes it part of being more meaningful at that, and that certainly includes you. If you're open to meeting someone new, it's going to be that mysterious connection, that person who says that one thing that really gets your mind racing and thinking, what do you mean by that? What was she saying? And where did that come from? And oh, what could that mean? When you start really thinking like that, the detective in you is awakened. You know that you are intrigued. If you are in an established bond, again, it is about low key, being with this person, experiencing the love, and knowing that what you have is real. Hello, fabulous Pisces. This week we have got your ancient ruling planet Jupiter getting lots of love from Venus. So as I look at this particular energy, to me, this speaks to feeling friendship, and feeling how love and friendship come together, partnerships and the higher goals come together. So some of you are going to experience this in the context of a love committed relationship. That's great. This is going to be a time when you feel like you're with somebody that you can really relate to. Feel like someone, as they say, you're in love with your best friend. That's the kind of energy we have playing out. And if you meet anybody under this type of sky, especially as we move towards the later part of the week, there is a strong karmic factor playing out there, and very possibly could become that person that you feel like, oh, you've fallen and met your best friend. That also can be a romantic connection. Some of you, however, will experience this in a more platonic way, maybe even in sense of a business connection. But remember, it's rooted in friendship. If you root in friendship, the partnerships you make now can benefit you for many years to come, financially, career-wise in particular, and in many other ways. So stay open to all those possibilities. They will only lead you in positive directions and good directions. Connect with people and go to social stuff, like be social. We've got this new moon happening in the sign just before yours, which is not a very social, place, if you will. It's a very quiet kind of energetic clearing, understanding what needs to go kind of space, and may not necessarily make you feel like you want to jump forward for joy and get out there and party. However, if you can go with love to meet people that you love, then that is where not only will you find love, not only will you affirm the love that you have, but you'll also find yourself creatively being a light, being inspired, thinking more about how to create greater prosperity for yourself in a way that feels like you're accomplishing something even bigger than just something career, but like your hopes and wishes, and you're being brought into alignment with it. Because ultimately people are going to be working overtime to bless your life in small ways, but in big ways as well, in ways that allow powerful karmic new connections to take place that potentially have the potential to last the rest of your life, but also in much quieter ways as well. Having those types of connections that are well established, and having those random interactions, those random communications that just get you understanding and seeing your life and what is meaningful to you in just a slightly different angle. And by allowing yourself to get that vision, really, that can be the game changer that prepares you for some very big launches that are set to take place next month. Next month, really, you are launching. All this amazing stuff is happening for you. It's very, very exciting. Even though this week may feel like something's shifted within you. Now, when is your life going to start looking different? Before you know it, it will. Well, thank you so much to all signs out there. It'll be a great week. Enjoy.